Unexpected turn for Carlos Alcaraz in Barcelona. Carlos Alcaraz is back in Barcelona. The recent Monte Carlo champion made his debut at the 2025 ATP Conde de Godó with a victory, though not without difficulties. The Mercian admitted he's still adjusting to the new conditions and made it clear he needs a breather. "I need a day for myself." Today we go over his thoughts after the first match, how he explains the differences between Monte Carlo and Barcelona, and what he expects from the demanding clash ahead against Laslo Djere. Carlos Alcaraz kicked off his campaign at the Conde de Godó with a solid win against American Ethan Quinn, but the match was far from a walk in the park. The Spaniard admitted it was a tough debut, with ups and downs and tense moments, including facing a set point. "It wasn't my best tennis," he said at the press conference. "It was a match that got done, not playing brilliantly, but it was won, which is what matters." According to Alcaraz, the conditions played a key role in his inconsistent performance. "Even though the balls are the same, here there's more clay, the ball gets bigger and it's harder to move it," he explained. He also pointed to the shifting wind, stringing differences, and the limited time he had to adapt after his title in Monte Carlo. "Adjusting to all that in less than a day is tough," he commented. Additionally, the Mercian pointed out that the pressure of playing at home also has an impact. "Barcelona is special for me. Wanting to do well adds extra nerves." Even so, he was happy to have managed those tricky moments. "The first match is always the hardest, and having overcome it gives me confidence for what's ahead." Another topic that came up was the absence of Juan Carlos Ferrero on his bench. Alcaraz confirmed that he is in constant communication with his main coach, even though Samuel Lopez is accompanying him on court. "Samu and Juanqui are completely coordinated. I trust both of them 100%, he stated, making it clear that the unity of his team is one of his biggest strengths. As for his next opponent, Laslo Djere, the Mercian is not taking him lightly. He's a very high-level player, especially when he faces top rivals. He recalled a tough 3-set battle in Buenos Aires and anticipated an intense and demanding match. "I'll need to play better, with fewer errors and fewer ups and downs." Amid all this change, adaptation, and competition, Alcaraz admitted something many expected: he needs a break. "I'd like to have a day for myself. Not do much," he said with a smile. After training as soon as he arrived in Barcelona with barely any rest after Monte Carlo, the Mercian is grateful to have a day off. "My family is here, so I want to disconnect a bit from tennis and spend time with them." To wrap up the conference, Alcaraz also reacted with humor to some words from Real Madrid coach Carlo Ancelotti, who used his famous family motto after the comeback against Arsenal: "Head, heart, and balls." "I'm very happy that my grandfather's motto has gone so far," he said with a laugh. Carlos Alcaraz overcame his first challenge at the Conde de Godó, though the path was far from easy. Amid new conditions, local pressure, and little time to recover, the Mercian stood firm. Now, with a well-earned day of rest and a new challenge on the horizon, he looks to keep adapting and fine-tuning his game to defend his crown in Barcelona. The truth is that, even though he didn't play his best match, he sent a clear signal: he's ready to fight, even when the conditions aren't in his favor. Carlos Alcaraz has spoken again. And this time, with great clarity. After conquering Monte Carlo and landing straight in Barcelona to play the Conde de Godó, the Mercian used his time in the press room to address the criticism he's received this season. Is he at his best level? Do losses affect him? How does he handle the pressure of being one of tennis's biggest rising stars? Today, we share what Alcaraz said with honesty, calm, and that ever-present smile. Just hours after lifting his first clay title in Monaco, Carlos Alcaraz landed in Barcelona with barely any time to celebrate. He walked into the Real Club de Tenis de Barcelona already focused on his next challenge, defending the title at the ATP Conde de Godó. Amid training, adjustments, and rhythm changes, he found a moment to address what many were waiting for: his take on the criticism he's received this year. "Expectations are high, I know that," he said. "I recognize that there have been results that neither I nor many others expected." But rather than getting upset, Alcaraz took a reflective tone. He explained that every loss has been a learning opportunity. "No loss is trivial for me," he stated. And he added a phrase that many will relate to: "Talking is easy and free, especially when someone has expectations and doesn't live up to them." For the Mercian, the key lies in focusing on what really matters. At 21 years old, he has already completed 4 full seasons on the professional circuit. With impressive maturity, he acknowledged that he's learned to live with pressure, ups and downs, and constant scrutiny from media and fans. His mindset has evolved, and now he knows it's not always about winning with flair, but about staying strong even on the gray days. Despite the physical effort in Monte Carlo, Alcaraz assures there are no serious physical issues. Just a bit of fatigue, but nothing major, he said. He arrived in Barcelona without any days off but with lots of motivation. I'm very excited to play here. This afternoon I'll train to adjust to the conditions and hope to be ready for tomorrow. Regarding his recent title, he made it clear that winning, even without playing his best tennis, has been key for his confidence. In Monte Carlo I didn't show an exceptional level, but I had a great attitude. I realized that even without shining, I can win tough matches. And that gives me a lot of confidence. Alcaraz showed that the mental component can be just as decisive as the physical, especially during the demanding clay court swing. Still, he was self-critical. Despite the title, he admitted he's not at his best moment. I've played better matches this year. Winning is one thing, playing well is another, he said with maturity. He assessed his overall performance this season, noting that aside from the past month, he's had a solid showing in almost every tournament. But he knows there's still room to improve, especially now that the clay season is reaching its peak. Alcaraz wrapped up his comments by making it clear that his evolution isn't stopping. It's not easy to quickly regain rhythm and confidence on clay, but we're working on it. His message isn't one of complacency, but of process. From someone who, even while winning, doesn't stop to celebrate too much because he knows the next challenge is just around the corner. A legend congratulates the future. Rafael Nadal has sent a message full of nostalgia and admiration after Carlos Alcaraz's victory at the Monte Carlo Masters 1000. The former world number one, who won the Principalities tournament 11 times, didn't miss the chance to acknowledge the young Mercian's achievement with words that touched the entire tennis world. Today we share how that message went, what Monte Carlo represents for Spanish tennis, and why this gesture from Nadal marks a new chapter in the transition between two golden generations. Carlos Alcaraz has made history once again. At just 21, he was crowned champion of the Monte Carlo Masters 1000, earning his 6th title of this category and the 18th of his career. But beyond the stats, this victory holds huge symbolic value. It ended a 6-year drought for Spanish wins in the Principality. The last to do so? None other than Rafael Nadal in 2018. Monte Carlo is a special tournament. It's the first major event on clay each year, but for Nadal it meant much more. He won his first title there in 2005. And didn't stop until he had 11, in one of the most impressive displays of dominance in modern tennis. That's why when someone like Alcaraz triumphs on that same court, it's not just a win. It's a symbolic handover. And Nadal understood that perfectly. Though he's no longer competing, he still follows the young Mercian closely. So when Alcaraz was crowned champion in Monte Carlo, Rafa wrote on his X account, formerly Twitter, "Congratulations Carlos Alcaraz, well done on the victory in such a special place." A short message, but full of history, emotion, and respect. This gesture was warmly received by fans, who saw in those words a significant generational moment. Nadal has been the benchmark of Spanish tennis for almost 2 decades, and Monte Carlo was one of the stages where he shone brightest. Seeing Alcaraz lift the trophy in that same place is, for many, a natural continuation of that legacy. For Alcaraz, this triumph also represents a confirmation on clay, a surface where he's already shown he feels at home. After a tough month, his victory in Monte Carlo restored his confidence and reaffirmed his status as one of the top contenders this season. And receiving a message from Nadal only makes him stronger. Moreover, this exchange marks more than just a polite message. It's a sign of support, an unwritten blessing. Rafa not only acknowledges Carlitos' merit, but also celebrates the fact that the tradition of Spanish tennis on clay is still very much alive. And in a place where he himself reigned for so many years, his message carries deep emotional weight. Monte Carlo was, is, and will continue to be a magical stage for Spanish tennis. And now, with Alcaraz as the new champion and Nadal as a distant mentor and witness, that legacy keeps growing. Rafael Nadal's congratulatory message to Carlos Alcaraz is not just a classy gesture, it's a bridge between past, present, and future. It's a legend recognizing the new standard bearer of Spanish tennis, in a tournament that symbolizes the greatness of them both. Monte Carlo has a Spanish champion once again. And this time, it's Alcaraz who picks up the torch with the same humility and ambition once shown by his idol. What do you think of Nadal's words? Are we witnessing the birth of a new era led by Alcaraz? Leave us your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to subscribe to follow every detail of this exciting generational transition in the world of tennis. See you in the next video.